Canadian RVer. What I'm doing in this video today is I'll be servicing my generator, my Owen, and I'll be now just firing it up on the front console here just to warm it up. So here we go. Starting up the generator, we're going to prime it. We watch the light flash. We hold the top button. And there it is. It's running right now. So we're going to let it warm up for a bit, and then we'll take you outside. Warm right now. And what I'll be doing is switching it off from the inside console. And let's go outside and start the oil change. From this part, I'll be doing a voiceover only because it was so windy when I was working out here. I thought I would just do a voiceover, make it a little smoother. So my generator is located in this hatch right here, which folds up. And what I have is a Cummins Owen RV QG 5500 EVAP. And what EVAP stands for, our generator was replaced about a week that we bought the coach of difficulties with our existing one. So this is California standard. So let's take the cover off and have a quick look inside. Let me just move the cover away a bit there. So first of all, underneath that cable there, we have our internal stop start. We have our two 30 amp breakers, which gives us 60 amps total. And right in here is where the air filter is. And I'll take the snaps off the side here and at the bottom. And we'll have a quick look at the filter just to see how clean and what it looks like. So I did replace the filter about 2 years ago, I think. And of course, a generator, it's not always used every day. So let me, well, a bit of a challenge to put this back on with just one hand. So let me just put the camera down and we'll come back and we'll carry on and we'll go through the rest of it. So give me a sec. All right, I've just put the air filter cover back on, which is 3 little snaps and this 3 under here. So that's all good. Now the oil is, this is the fill cap right here. And this is the drain valve right there. So what I do is, right underneath here, there's a little spigot that comes down right in. Don't know if you can see it right in there. So what I do is I just get an empty bottle, and we're going to put it underneath. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So here's my empty bottle. We're just going to hold it underneath here, and we'll let the oil flow out. I've just sped the video up here just a little bit to save a little bit of time as the oil drains into the bottle, and you can feel it from the bottom. It's getting a little bit warm. So here we go. This is now the filter, and I always buy a brand name filter or the filter from Owen. And we're going to take it off. Now I use 2 pieces here that I always take the filter off with, because you really can't put a strap wrench on it. I use this little kind of a small cup filter removal, and it goes right underneath where the filter is right there. So the challenge is to always, get it right on. And sometimes, but I find that these types of wrenches will bind on the filter. So it's always nice to be able to get it off pretty smoothly. So let's keep watching, and we'll now start to spin the filter off. Just getting the right orientation. There it goes. It's now starting to spin. And should come off right now. Now, I always put a pan underneath it, but I think it's still not loose enough. I need a little more just to spin it off. And I think that second part, I put a little more pressure onto it. Now the filter comes out, but also the filter has a rubber gasket around, I guess, the frame where the filter goes through into the generator to keep any contaminants out of there as you're driving in the rain and stuff, so it doesn't splash up. So we just drain the oil. We just watch the dripping here a little bit. And we're now ready to install our new one. Take it out of the box. There we go, we got the filter out, and what I always try to do a little bit is put a little bit of oil into the filter. So when you start filling the generator, you don't have to keep the process going on over and over, because you have to be careful how much oil you put into the generator. You can't put in too much oil because that will hurt the seals too. So now I put a little bit of oil into the filter. I will pop the filter through that little opening, I guess, which has that rubber seal. And very easily just make sure that the threads start, and then what you could do is you hand tighten it all the way up. I usually try to keep all the oil in the rag, and so now what I do is I put the wrench back on it and just give it a few turns just so that I can feel it making contact to the rubber gasket on the filter. And the other thing you always check is to make sure that the old filter has the rubber gasket on it, that it came off the frame where the filter connects. So a quick little wipe down here, just double check that, and we should be ready to start filling. So now I'm just double checking that the ring has gone all the way around the filter opening, and that looks pretty good right now. Just a bit of wipe down with all the oil. So the next thing I'm going to do is just wipe the dip rod, I guess, and check to see there's to make sure that's clear before we start putting the oil in. And I'll put the funnel up here and then very slowly start adding oil. But the trick here too is not to add too much. Now, I guess in one way you can measure the exact amount that the generator takes of 1.5 liters, I believe. But the problem right there is I also put some oil into the filter, and I want to make sure that I don't go overboard with the oil. So I'll just keep this process going on back and forth. I'll check in with the dip rod and make sure that I'll screw it all the way in. Then what I do is I pull it all the way out and make sure that it's starting to come up, and it looks like it probably will need a lot more oil from here. So I'll start this process over and over again, just adding a little bit and double checking. Now, in the next few processes of adding more oil, what I'll do is I will start the generator just to get the filter full of oil and see just how things are going to play out. Well, you got to keep wiping down the oil off the funnel and make sure there's no drips on anything. And we'll carry on and just adding more oil, checking the dip rod on it, and just to screw it all the way in. You got to remember to do that, because that changes how much oil you have in the engine. Because you really don't want too much oil into the generator over the full mark, because that would maybe cause some damage to the cylinder seals and or the piston rings. So I've done quite a few attempts at adding oil. Now what I'll do is I'll start it. So I'll just start it up a little bit, let it run for a minute or so, just to get the oil all through the system, and still let it run, let it warm up a little bit. And we'll switch it off again just to double check the oil. And you might do this a few times. I do it slowly, 2-3 times, to make sure that the amount of oil that's got in is right on. But we can check one more time. But I thought the last time we checked it was all fine. And right now we're actually putting the covers back on. So this is V from a Canadian RVer. We hope you've enjoyed this video of how to service your Cummins Owen RV generator. And thanks for watching. We hope to see you in our next video. So if you like the video, please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you in our next video.